What is going on, guys? This is the Inside the Boot podcast, and today we have another mock draft on the channel. Of course, the NFL season is over. Draft season is right around the corner. It's draft month. Everybody's getting excited. All these, top 30 visits from all these players are getting featured with all these teams, and now we await for the New York Giants of who are they going to select at pick number 6. This draft, I'm only drafting for the New York Giants, and whatever the computers PFF decide to select, that's what they decide to select. But, of course, if you want to see some of my full round mock drafts of me picking for all of the teams, definitely take those a look. A lot of views I've gotten on them. Some of my most popular videos have been for mock drafts. But anyways, I think I've done enough talking. Let's get into the mock draft. And also leave a comment below of what you think the New York Giants should do at pick 6. But, of course, nothing has changed on the board. And let's get right into the draft. And here we go. Kind of what I expected from the draft. QBs go 1, 2, 3. It's kind of interchangeable with Drake May and Jaden Daniels. It's kind of personal preference. But this is it. Kind of what I figured what is going to go on. And I think with the Chargers here, it's really who they like too. Do they like Malik Nabers more, one of the most explosive guys in the NFL draft? Or they could even go offensive line here or take Rome Odunze. I mean, Brock Bowers is definitely a guy that's in consideration for that team. I mean, he would make that offense a lot better, but a lot of wide receivers have departed from the Los Angeles Chargers, including Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. And to go wide receiver for the Chargers is definitely very smart. Now for the New York Giants, it's kind of a no-brainer here. And I will say this about the New York Giants is, what do they feel about the quarterback position? What do they feel about it? Do they like a guy like J.J. McCarthy at 6, and that's going to be their quarterback of the future? Or do they like a guy more like a Malik Nabers type, where he's really explosive? I mean, Joe Alt is definitely not out of the question. They could take Joe Alt here, but it's kind of a no-brainer here. We're going to take Malik Nabers here at number 6. And I know, you've taken him every draft. It's kind of hard not to select him here to make things realistic. Of course, the Giants only have one second round pick now, not 2. But let's kind of break down this first round. Vuaga goes to number 7. Joe Alt falls all the way down to 9. J.J. McCarthy goes to the Minnesota Vikings at 11. I'm just seeing really the big picks here in this draft. Who am I looking for? Oh, Brock Bowers. So Brock Bowers goes to the Raiders. Interesting pick here. It's definitely an interesting pick. Let's just get it with that. So now getting to the second pick of the NFL draft for the New York Giants. Of course, they traded one of their second round picks to the Carolina Panthers, who they selected. Interesting. Who do they select? Let's see. So they decided to select Ennis Rackstraw Jr. over a lot of different guys. I mean, the Panthers need all the needs that they can have. So to have that as their pick doesn't really faze me. So now the Giants are up. A lot of different options they can go here. It's kind of an interesting pick. I definitely think this is an offensive line spot here. I don't really think it's anything else. And that's where we're looking at right now. Is it a Zach Frazier pick? Is it more of a Christian Haynes type to really build up that guard and that interior offensive line? This offensive line needs work for the New York Giants. That's nothing new. This team allowed 85 sacks last year. They brought in a new offensive line coach. And as much as I love the offensive line coach hire, the players have to play. The players have to play, and getting good players in this draft is huge. So this is definitely an interesting spot here for the New York Giants. Right now, I kind of have my eyes on Christian Haynes from UConn. He had a really good Senior Bowl. He looks really good, and I think if they can get Christian Haynes, it could be interesting. Now with Evan Neal, the future with Evan Neal, he kind of has to have a really good year this upcoming season, because his job is very much in jeopardy, and definitely I think he is one of the main guys to watch next year in terms of development. I mean, if there is no sort of development and improvement, it's really hard for me to say that Evan Neal is going to be a Giant much longer. You know, a first-round pick in that 2022 draft with Kayvon Thibodeaux. You thought you got a franchise tackle on the right side to pair with Andrew Thomas on the left side, but the offensive line has been nothing short of god-awful. I mean, it's just been the main issue with this offense. I think, you know, with this draft, with how it's gone so far, to take a wide receiver one is huge, but going to take Christian Haynes here with our first guard off the board for us, and with our final pick of the draft. A lot of different names here, for sure. And I think right now, with how the board shapes out, there's definitely a few guys in this class that I do like. I definitely liked Edgerrin Cooper as a linebacker. I think he is solid. I think, of course, you can go with a guy like Jalen Wright, of course, with the departure of Saquon Barkley, so you can get a running back right away. As we look at his PFF grade, not bad at all. I mean, 91 overall grade. He's got over 1,000 yards last year. Not much of a pass catcher, but he had 22 receptions, more than any of his career as a whole. So maybe just maybe, when if the Giants do end up selecting him, I mean, it would be a perfect option. He'd definitely be, running back one in my book, unless Devin Singletary kind of wins the job there. And I think that still would be a good running back one and running back two duo. I don't think Devin Singletary is bad at all. I thought he had a good season last year. Giants got him on a very, very cheap deal, and it's going to be fun. I really do feel like getting a guy like Jalen Wright. And another guy that I see that's still in this draft is T'Vondre Sweat. Now, I do think T'Vondre Sweat is a very good player as we look at the defensive line. So, I mean, he's definitely up there with some of the guys that I really like. Brandon Dulis isn't bad. Of course, T'Vondre Sweat had a really good year. And, I think with this team, right, with Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeaux, and Brian Burns, those are your really good defensive players. That core four, right, with Deonte Banks, Kayvon Thibodeaux, Dexter Lawrence, and Brian Burns. That could really scare some offensive teams. And the Giants need offense, though. I think that's nothing short to say. This offense was bad, and I think when you give Brian Daboll weapons and good weapons, I think it really helps his team. Now, in terms of the pick right now, I think it's really between Jalen Wright and T'Vondre Sweat. But I really think I'm going to go Jalen Wright here as my final pick. Running back in the third round. It's really a tough selection there. I think you can go either way with it. As they grade our draft, PFF gives us a B+ overall draft. They have Jalen Wright viewed as a C+, and Christian Haynes viewed as a C-. Now, I think in terms of those grades, yeah, I mean, an overall B, a B+ overall draft grade. I don't hate it. I don't hate this draft one bit. I mean, you really address everything you need on the offense Here you get a wide receiver one with Malik Neighbors, you get a solid guard with Christian Haynes, and then you get a running back at, third round who had a solid year out of Tennessee. So I thought we did a pretty decent job. I mean, obviously you look at some of these, you see that we picked a guard at pick 47, so kind of a reach there, but kind of just a blatant need. And Christian Haynes had a solid year, so that's really how I view that pick. Of course, we all know the hype between Malik Neighbors. Is he the best wide receiver in the class? Is he not? Are they going to go offensive line with Joe Alt? What are they going to do there? And then with the running back position again, it's really to fulfill Saquon Barkley. Obviously, you can never just go in the draft and replace the Saquon Barkley. Barkley was the motor of this offense, and he did a really good job with the team. He did everything he could, despite his injuries. Now he's with Philadelphia, so now you gotta play Saquon Barkley 2 times a year. So yeah, I mean, let me know in the comments below what you think of this mock draft. Of course, definitely give me your feedback. Was it a reach for Christian Haynes? Was it a reach for Jalen Wright? Definitely give me your feedback. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for another podcast and another mock draft. Of course, I know you guys love the mock drafts to get some of the best support. But definitely don't forget to support the Yankees videos, the other Giants videos. And, of course, don't forget about the Rangers, too, as they are having a solid season. But that's going to do it for this video and this mock draft. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button on the road to 100 subscribers. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.